Hey, 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 good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to episode 55 of the Freedom Seekers Live TV. And with a special guest today, I always have special guests, and every week they are special. But this lady is special. Why? Because she's Australian, so we had to find a way to talk to each other. But not only that, I saw a little bit what this lady is all doing, and oh my God, that is so much. She is not only married, a mom of 5, and a nanny of 9. She left corporate world a few months ago, and she is a podcast host. She is doing so many things for children that we are going to talk a little bit about that, to give them a victory pack when they need it the most, with some essential items in there so they don't feel lost. She is she has written a book that is coming out. We're going to talk about that in October, with all inspiring people in there. So I'm not going to wait any longer. I'm going to add her to the stream so she can talk about it herself. Here she is, Tracey Cook. Welcome.
Oh, Monique, thank you very much for inviting me on your platform. You're doing some amazing, impactful things in the communities and in the entrepreneurial world. So thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
I'm thanking you because I saw you a few years ago on the show Play to Win from Ray Higdon in 2019 it was. And one of the things that started to inspire me was that you made the trip, because I was also in rank makers at that time, so I knew what it took to be able to participate in Play to Win. You took a journey, you took a leap of faith, you took your bag, you traveled 36 hours to the States to participate in a show that you didn't even know if you were going to win it or not. And because there was a prize attached to it, you could work with the Higdons, or you could get a prize if you win the Play to Win. So what made you take that huge leap of faith? And then I would like to talk also a little bit about your past. But first, how I met you virtually, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the story that led you maybe there.
Oh, thank you very much for asking, because that was a really pivotal point in my entrepreneurial journey back in 2019, which was only a short 3 years ago, but we always underestimate what can change in a year, a month, a week, or a day. And 3 years later, I'm every reason not to be a success with my lived experience. But going back to what you were asking about Play to Win, I'd been in network marketing in 2018, so not very long at all. And it was just after my 50th birthday. And I was inside the Rank Makers community with Ray and Jessica Higdon, and I really loved the culture and the community, and I was learning so many new things, and it just felt right. And when Ray announced he was doing a reality show, I'm always up for a bit of a venture, Monique. I'm always wanting to do more, be more, and I'm a little bit of a scallywag where I like a lot of adventure. So I submitted a video. There was thousands of people that submitted a video, and then they brought it down to, I think there was 28 people. I could be wrong on that. On the actual reality show that was selected. Now, luckily enough, there was another person in Perth, Western Australia, where I actually live, and her name was Christine Burke, and we were total strangers. So I messaged her when I found out that she was actually selected for the Play to Win reality show, which was in Fort Myers in Florida, the furthest away from Perth, Western Australia than you can ever be. And I messaged her and I said, hey, we're on this show together. Let's take the flight together so we're not doing it alone. And we met at the airport at 4 a.m. in the morning. And after that 36-hour journey, we were just about best friends. Now, my biggest takeaway from the reality show is we were all competing, Monique, but it was more of a family spirit. And because we all had this common bond of wanting to be the best version of ourselves, and we didn't really know what we were doing, we were able to form instant friendships. It was amazing. I can't even explain how.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And we were on the day one of filming. There was Ray Higdon, there was Jessica Higdon, there was a complete film crew. Hank Norman was the director. He's the media guru behind 𝗟𝗃𝗘𝗃𝗏, Mel Robbins, Survivor, the morning show. And Mary Kate was there as well as the member success manager as part of the Higdon group. It was a big reality shot that when we walked in, there was a full production crew there. I thought it was just kind of going to be a little online kind of reality show, and it was, but it was a lot bigger when I got there. So I was absolutely overwhelmed. I was excited, and we were told how and taught how to play to win.
Yeah, because that was the title already was something that I found intriguing, because a lot of people are not playing to win. They are playing to survive. They are playing to dabble. They are playing all sorts of things, but not play to win. And in winning, it doesn't mean to be backlashing other people or backstabbing other people. It is giving your utmost best to achieve something, and that doesn't mean to be achieving money-wise. It is overcoming stuff, because you have, and that is something that I heard in that show too, a heartbreaking story. You overcame so many things. Is there something that you can share with us about that?
100%. So I had just come off in 2016, I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. 2019 was a reality show, and I was still testing positive for the markers. So we didn't know what laid ahead of us. But I thought, through positive mindset, surrounding myself with positive people who are uplifting and supportive, I can get through this. Obviously, there's changes to the diet and exercise and things like that. But I came through, and when I got back to Perth a few months later, I got the results that I was totally clear and cancer-free. It just goes to show that the power of the mind and surrounding yourself with health and a positive environment can really change the projection of your life.
Yeah, so true. And how did the show change your professional life?
Oh, it changed everything. Absolutely everything. Basically, I didn't know what play to win really meant. I was newish to entrepreneurship. I was definitely new to network marketing, but it just ignited so much fire in my belly, talking about sales and networking and collaboration and your story. And this is what come out of it, Monique. There's all these people telling their stories, right? They're saying where they were and how they overcome and how they're helping others now. And the camera's up in their face, and there's snot bubbles and there's tears and there's hugs and friendships. And I declared on that stage, in that moment, I was not going to tell my story and make a fool of myself.
Oh.
And nobody really knew my story. I had pushed that down. And as women, we sometimes do that. I'd pushed that down so far because I had a lifetime of self-sabotage. I had a lifetime of people telling me from my upbringing, you're worthless, sit down and shut up. What are you doing that for? That's a stupid idea. You're an idiot. You're delusional. You'll never amount to anything. So where I actually grew up, I grew up with childhood sexual abuse. I rebelled. I was a very rebellious person. I fell into the wrong crowds. I was drinking when I shouldn't be. I was doing things between the ages of 12 and 16 that a young lady should not be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all a rebellion. It was all for negative attention. But deep down inside, every time somebody told me I was worthless, then I believed their words, and it's so weird, but I still knew I was meant for more.
Mhm.
And on that reality show, all of those emotions started bubbling up, hearing all of these other people's stories.
Mhm.
And when I was reflecting backwards on that long flight back from the US to Australia, I flew back by myself. That's a long time for the cogs to keep ticking over, going, you need to tell your story. You need
Mhm.
to tell your story. And I thought, well, where do I start? Because as we get older, we've got our signature story, but we're made up of so many core stories as well.
Mhm.
And I've hit every bloody branch on the tree coming down. Let me tell you, childhood sexual abuse, domestic violence, cancer, homelessness, addiction. I was a single parent, for a while. I've had every lived experience, and I always say, Monique, I'm every reason not to be a success. And I could have held up that victim card and
Mhm.
played that and blamed it on the world. But as Mel Robbins says, no one is coming to save you. And that
Yeah.
is so salty and it's so ouchy, but it's true. Nobody is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. You have to try and find some way to dig deep and know your worth, and to be able to find a strategy or a friend or a community or a resource or a counselor or a therapist, whatever it is, to help you overcome that. And if things don't change, things don't change. And I knew on that long flight back home, I come home, I had a shower, had the longest sleep ever. I woke up and I literally felt like a new person. My
Oh.
mindset was different. I was laser focused. And I thought, I need to tell my story. Wet hair, no makeup, press play, told my story on a Facebook Live. My
Wow.
messenger blew up with literally hundreds of messages, Monique, of people telling me about their stories of domestic violence and all of this as well. And I just was creating connection, and I just felt so authentic. I felt like me. I felt free. And with that, my parents got wind that I told my story and disowned me,
Oh.
because apparently that stays in your four walls. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, because I don't care whether it's family or not. If you can't support each other and see and accept people for who they are, then they're not worth it. Family or
Yeah.
not, they're not
Mhm.
worth it,
Mhm.
because you need to open up that space to let goodness in, to let positivity in, to find your own self-worth. You don't have to put up with it. You really
Yeah.
don't. And it is sad. It is
Yeah.
sad, but you just have to understand that you've got worth. You've got merit. Your story is worthy.
Yeah.
And our stories connect, and they're relatable, and they show strength, and they show overcoming adversities. And when we drop that armor and we show that strength through vulnerability isn't weakness. Vulnerability is the most amount of courage that any person can have.
Wow. I share often the saying that Ray says. I often quote him or talk about him. I've learned so much of him. I'm not in the Ranking Makers community anymore, but I learned so much from him. He always says, if you don't share your story, then you're depriving people that you can help with your story. You're a little bit selfish if you're not telling your story. And that is so true. Not everybody has a heartbreaking story, but you have experience in your life, and that experience that can help somebody. But you have such you have 5-6 horrible things that happen to you. One is already enough for most people to get buried under a lot of, I can't do this is too much for me. But you did it anyhow. But I can imagine that reflecting those 36 hours getting home has helped you a lot, and that you felt a new person. You left a lot of that behind, maybe in the airplane. But I can imagine that some of these things, because to rewire your brain, that takes some time. So I can imagine that sometimes that came back. How did you handle that when that came back? How did you overcome and continue on the way that you are now on?
I think a lot of personal development. We can all sit around and burn candles and listen to meditation music and do all those wonderful things. But I think having a really hard look in the mirror and being really totally honest with yourself and having awareness that not all days are going to be great. Not all days are going to be poor. Some days you're just going to get by, and that's okay. You can't be everyone to anybody, but you have to love yourself before you can pour love into everybody else. And there's a reason why they give you the oxygen mask on a plane. It's because you have to take care of yourself to be able to take care of other people.
Yeah.
So recognizing the signs. Am I overworking? Am I eating healthy? Do I have a morning and a nighttime routine that is going to support my mental health? To be able to create the awareness and the space and know the signs of when I need to just sit in a safe space or sit on my balcony with my dog and just reflect, or grab my journal and start journaling and pouring my brain out. I call it my brain dump into my journal. Or do I need to go on my treadmill and just go for a run and get that stress out?
Yeah.
We've all got coping mechanisms, and those people that have survived one or numerous traumatic or victimized events, the person you were that you needed to be to survive is a totally different person and mindset to the person you need to thrive. And it took me a long time through personal development, and it was not easy. There were many nights crying in the shower, believe me, and I still have them. And the self-sabotage, the self-limiting beliefs do still keep creeping in, but I've got awareness now. And I speak to them. It's okay. You'll have to go away because I'm busy right now. Come back tomorrow when I'm feeling a little bit more brave, because I'm too vulnerable to notice you at the moment.
That's
okay. That's okay.
Oh, wonderful. Could you maybe share with the listeners some non-negotiables? I saw a post from my friend Colleen today. She said, take a paper tray, a paper where you eat your breakfast from, divide it in 8 pieces, and each piece is 15 minutes of non-negotiables that you do every day. I found that very a good idea. Do you have 3 to 5 non-negotiables that you say, okay, this I do every day for my business or for my mental health that helps me to achieve the things that I want to achieve?
I really believe in a good morning and nighttime routine. And I think it does build success for your mindset, because you can teach somebody all the skills and resources and give them all the tools, but unless you have a mindset of self-worth and a real clear direction on where you're going, you're going to fail time after time. You have to get your mind right first. The non-negotiables that I do every single morning is my gratitude journal. I write down 10 gratitudes every single morning and every single night. I always go for a walk every single morning. And the biggest thing that I do is I do not ever turn on my phone until I'm up, I've had breakfast, I've had a shower, I've had my walk, I've had my my gratitude journal done. Then I will turn on my phone.
Yeah.
I have action before I have reaction. You do not want to wake up in the morning and read your emails and look at Facebook and see all this negativity, and it comes flooding into your brain, and then you can't function neurologically during the day with those pathways interrupted by all of these messages coming in.
Yes.
You need to actually pour love and self-worth into yourself before you actually turn on your phone and prepare for the day. And that is pivotal. That's a non-negotiable.
That's so powerful. That's so true what you say, because otherwise the day becomes lives you and not the other way around. That is so true. What a great tip. And in the evening you write down 10 gratitudes. And do you also have another nighttime? Do you prepare for the next day, or what is your other nighttime routine?
I love Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he always says, don't have tech, don't lay in bed and have tech while you're going to sleep. I don't listen to meditation music or anything like that. I'll do my 10 gratitudes. My phone's already off. It's on the bench across the room, and I just think about what I want to accomplish tomorrow.
Yeah.
What do I need to accomplish, and what person do I need to be tomorrow? And I do that day after day, because as we know, the compound effect, daily small actions lead to big things. I just need to know. I'm a very organized person anyway, Monique, but I just need to know who I need to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
I may be booked on 5 speaking summits. I might be doing a podcast interview. I may be just sitting at the athletics carnival at the kids' school. Who do I need to be tomorrow? And I fall asleep with those dreams in my head. So when I wake up and I do my journal and my walk and my gratitude, I'm pre-programming and setting myself up for success in who I need to be just for tomorrow, not next week, just for tomorrow.
Oh, that's a great tip, because you are organized. I'm organized in my work, but not always organized in what I need to go to do. I know I'm too reactive on that side. So that is a great tip. So I imagine if that's a great tip for me, then it's a great tip for others. You talk about your podcast. I really would like to know a little bit about it, because your book and your podcast is Victim to Victory. The podcast is all about inspiring storytelling by amazing entrepreneurs. Is it only entrepreneurs or also storytelling in general?
Storytelling in general, Monique. So basically, off the tail end of 2019 from the reality show, I actually got a radio announcer's job in Perth. And at the beginning of 2020, we all know when the world went crazy, it was about February, March, and I thought I'm going to do a podcast. And I teed up with a local TV studio, and we were doing podcasts in person, and we were filming them because they're a vodcast.
Okay.
And we really want to optimize the YouTube channel. And it came to light to me when we went into lockdown and things like that. When I couldn't make it to the studio, I went virtual with my podcast. Normal, real, everyday people telling their stories of where they were, how they overcome, and more importantly, how they're helping others now. How we restoring hope in a world that's diminishing in hope. How we actually creating friendships and bonds and support systems based on celebrating someone's story. Now, it doesn't matter where you come from. Every story has merit and every story is worthy. You could be sitting in a classroom and just put up your hand and the teacher shuts you down, and therefore you don't have a voice and you play small for the rest of your life. That could be it. But that it for them is just as it as me hitting every branch on the tree. Every story has got merit, and so many people have told their story for the first time on the Victim to Victory podcast, and I really respect that. And it's created so many deep friendships, a community, a thriving Victim to Victory community. We've interviewed Les Brown. We've interviewed Dr. Joe Vitale from The Secret. We've interviewed Pat Quinn, who's partners with Pete Vargas, who supports Tony Robbins. There's been some celebrities and superstars, Marvel stunt people, and normal everyday people. We've done hundreds of podcasts, and each person, they sometimes come into the podcast and they're feeling a bit uncomfortable and a bit triggered maybe, and a bit, round-shouldered. And by the end of it, you can just see in their face and their energy and their mannerisms and their voice that they've actually got over another episode of them talking about their story. They've got through it. They've triumphed.
Wow.
Each time you tell your story, if it's really traumatic, it can trigger you.
Yeah.
So I went and done a trauma counseling course so that I can pick up on the cues and know where to direct and give them support and help. And I'm an NLP coach as well, neuro-linguistic. So I try to look for signs. So not only from a creator's perspective, but also from a supportive perspective and a coach's perspective to really support and nurture that relationship, because they've just bared their vulnerability and their story that sometimes they haven't even told somebody. And we really need to respect that. And all of these people are amazing. We've now got 18 of our guests in our collaborative book launching in October. And what's great and unique about this book is you can read their chapter and you can scan a QR code on each chapter and it takes you to the YouTube interview so you can see more about them.
How
It's
cool is that?
absolutely amazing.
And it will be available on Amazon, or how will it be available? Because that, of course, is a book that I really want to have. So where can people buy it? Where can people go and get it?
So thank you very much for asking that. On October the 1st, it does launch, and you are able to download the free Kindle version in the first 24 hours. And then after that, it is available in print form mid-October on Amazon, and it's called Victim to Victory. There's 18 collaborative authors that have gone from victim to victory to now the visionaries of tomorrow.
Oh, wow. I'm going to put that in my calendar so that on that day I can also put it on my Facebook and YouTube. So it's so that I will not forget it. So the gist of this Freedom Seekers Live TV is also to inspire women that are maybe on the verge of starting their business. Maybe they were or are like we were in network marketing, but they are maybe struggling, or they are just thinking, okay, I really want some more freedom. I want to create my freedom. It can be financial freedom, can be type of freedom, whatever type of freedom they are looking for. What would you give of advice to those women that are hesitating or to put themselves out there?
Well, first of all, you're never too old to dream another dream. So if any women over 50 are listening, I'm well into my mid-50s, and I've led a very busy, traumatic life, as you probably know from the interview. So first of all, you're never too old to dream another dream. Secondly, if you are hesitating, you need to look at, why am I hesitating? Have a look who you're actually hanging around. That is the key indicator. I call them crabs in a bucket, because we know when we put all those crabs in the bucket, one tries to get out and the others pull it back down because it's safe down here. It's cozy down here. We don't want you to get hurt. We don't want you to embarrass yourself. We don't want to lose you. So it's their insecurities that keep pulling you down. So I would definitely 100% have a look at your environment. Have a look at your family, your spouse, your partner. Who are your friends? And if your friends aren't supporting you, then you don't have a friendship circle. You have a cage, and you need to open the doors to the cage, and you need to fly on out and be your own person and know your own self-worth. Because if you're hesitating, there is a reason. And it could be you need just a little bit of personal development, but I would start by looking at my environment and my friend circle.
Oh, wow. Oh, beautiful. So if people would like to talk a little bit more about this or other stuff that you said in this amazing interview, I have so many notes. Where can they reach out to you?
You can contact me on my Facebook page and also through my website. And definitely my main platform is the Victim to Victory podcast series on YouTube as well.
Okay, I will put all those links in the description or on the in the comments. So Tracey, what if I would interview you 1 year from now today? So next year, September 16th. What would have changed? What is your goal for in 1 year?
Well, I've only recently planned out my year for next year, Monique. So you've asked me at just a great time. In November, I am the MC of the West Australian Podcast Awards. That's finishing out this year. For next year, I am doing some TEDx speaker presentations. I really want to get onto a TEDx stage and talk about overcoming trauma through stories. I think it's a really powerful message that men and women need to really hear so that we can break those generational chains, because it's held in our DNA as well. So break those generational chains and to be able to leave a legacy of hope and empathy. And that's what the world is missing. The world is missing love and empathy, along with a bit of respect thrown in there as well.
Yes.
For 2023, we have some huge plans for our podcast. We're going to be going out onto the streets, and we've also started a technology initiative that'll be launching next February, where we have high school students going into seniors' homes and they're swapping stories.
Oh, wow. I think we have to schedule a meeting for in January or something, because we haven't even talked about all the children that you are helping, but we have to wrap it up. It's already at the end of, but I hope I can ask you back, because we have a lot to talk about on a next one. So Tracey, with all the things that you are going to do, I am absolutely convinced that you will succeed. I have no doubt about that. So I wish you all the best, all the luck to have those results, because you can help a lot of people with that. So thank you very much for your time, and I wish you well.
Thank you, Monique. It's been an absolute pleasure, and best of luck to all of the listeners with your journey. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, wasn't she amazing? I have so many notes, and I really want to recap a little bit about it. So if you're feeling that you're not worthy, then take a good look in not only in the mirror to see what you can change, but also check your surroundings. Do you have people around you that are supporting you, in your friends, your family, online, offline, whatever? You need to be supported if you are going to some difficult stuff, but you have to do it yourself. Nobody is going to come and save you, and that is something that Tracey learned from Mel Robbins. Be honest to yourself. Create routines, morning routines, evening routines. I'm going to do that evening routine, I'm sure, because that is something that is lacking in my journey. Work on your mindset and your self-worth, and absolutely go and check out her podcast and her book that launches on October 1st. That is a collaboration. You can download the free Kindle, and later on you can buy the printed one. So I wish you all the best. I hope to see you in the next video, and check her YouTube channel for more information about her. But also she has some amazing free gifts for you on her website that I also will put in this in the description, so you can check them out. So bye for now. Have an amazing weekend, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye. Please like and share this video, and subscribe if you are on YouTube. And check out my course, 28 daily short trainings, PIES, Passive Income, Earning Strategies Simplified. You can find the link under this video. Bye for now, and I hope to see you in the next video.